So, I have a bit of news, and spoiler alert, if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, you probably saw this back in early March. Sorry it's taken me a while to post it on here. As of next month, I will be one of the first of UK Research and Innovation's Stephen Hawking Fellows. These are fellowships in theoretical physics and public engagement or science communication. But what even is a fellowship anyway? To many people, the word fellowship brings connotations of an adventure, rings of power, a mountain of doom and a dark lord. And while what I'm going on certainly is something of an adventure, not so much the other things. A fellowship has a very specific meaning though in science, or more broadly, academia. It is a research position highly coveted on that eventual goal to being, I guess, a professor. So how does it work? Let's start at the beginning of the journey. If you want to become a researcher in academia, after you've done your undergraduate degree, what you'll do is another degree, a PhD. That will typically be another 3 or 4 years in the UK system. Once you have that, you now have the title of doctor. But what do you do after that? If you're staying in academia rather than moving over into industry, becoming something like a data scientist, you'll take up what's called a postdoc, a postdoctoral research assistant or associate. What that means is you're essentially helping out somebody who has already gotten a research grant to undertake some work. So you're not the principal investigator, you're following somebody else's direction. And this is what most researchers will do. It's the trodden path. But a very small percentage of people will have fellowships. These are research grants that they have specifically applied for to do their own work. They are the principal investigators on those grants, and they basically get to set the direction. This makes fellowships really prestigious and the thing that you're told that you really need to get if you want to advance in your career. It would be very easy to be all self-congratulatory about the fact that I've got this Stephen Hawking Fellowship, but I think to do that wouldn't be telling the whole story. Yes, in this particular instance, I was one of 9 different people out of about 100 people who applied who was successful with their fellowship application. But it neglects the fact that over the last 6-7 years, I think I've applied for 7 or 8 different fellowships and been rejected. These things are really hard to get, and people persevere, and the success stories are just survivor's bias. So don't believe that hype. Don't let it get you down. I think in this particular case, it was the right call, it was the right time, and it was the right project. And I feel incredibly lucky to have this opportunity to use this fellowship, but it's been a long journey just to get to that point, and I really want to stress that. So what is my Stephen Hawking Fellowship actually about? Well, I wrote the application back in May 2019 for about a month and a half. Yes, fellowship applications take that long and are that slow to process. I thought the best thing to go with was to build on the discovery of Earth's magnetic drum, the fact that our magnetic shield resonates when you hit it with an eruptive impulse, such as the ones that drive intense space weather. And given that the Stephen Hawking Fellowship scheme is about theoretical physics, the best thing to do was, rather than use observations like we did in the discovery, to use cutting-edge simulations to better understand the underlying physics. This is something that had been relatively little explored, given that it took 45 years for us to find this thing. So it just seemed like the perfect fit. So that's what I'm doing on the science side, but the great thing about the Stephen Hawking Fellowship is it has a big public engagement and science communication element as well, something that I'm really passionate about. So the plan on that side of things is to build on the SSFX project, and rather than working with filmmakers with the sounds of space, start to work with musicians, producers, and festival organizers. And one of the things I want to make is a magnetospheric drum, a literal drum that plays the sound of Earth's magnetosphere. That's going to be pretty cool, so check this channel for updates when it happens. So that's what a fellowship is, and that's what my UKRI Stephen Hawking Fellowship is going to be about for the next 4 years. There's a lot of hard work ahead of me, but I'm really excited and really looking forward to it. If you've got any more questions about fellowships or what I'm going to be doing, please do write them in the comments below. It's always great to talk to you. And do subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and click that notification, because I don't do videos all that regularly. It's hard to fit them in, and I do apologize to those who already do subscribe that it's been so long since I posted a video. I think the last one was back in October. Things during the pandemic have been utterly nuts trying to get all this work done before I start my fellowship. We can have a chat about that in the comments below if you like, but I do hope that you're keeping well and that you've managed to keep it together during these troubling times. Please feel free to watch any of my videos if that is in any way helpful or interesting to kind of take your thoughts away from a difficult time. All right, take care, stay safe.